What's up, kids? Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Let's hit some Q&A. This is a great topic, and two people have asked this in the past week in private messages to us. So let's talk about, and let me get my lighting figured out, right? Oh my gosh, it's so bright. There we go. Let's talk about paid versus organic traffic, lead gen, whatever. Now, just to be clear, I don't sell lead gen in any way like paid versus organic. We have a done for you agency that works with surgeons and subspecialties. So I'm not selling you ads or something like that. This is just my experience and seeing a whole lot of other digital agencies, consultants, coaches go through this process. This is kind of what's worked and what's not. What, Laura? Howdy, good to see you. This is what's working and what's not working and why. And let me show you kind of how you should choose as you go through that process, because both can be very, very effective. And you're going to hear people on all sides of the fence talking about what you should do. And I just want to make sure that you're actually doing the one that works right for you and that puts you in the best position to succeed. Okay, so absolutely ask questions as we go through this. I want to make sure everybody gets the answers they need. All right, so first up, it is so important. And I know there's a lot of paid traffic agencies in this group, so please speak up if you have opinions about this. There's a lot of SEO and organic type folks too. Bottom line is, you gotta automate the organic. Okay, so relationships are what make sales happen. That's just the foundation of how traffic works. What's up, Chad? Good to see you. The things you want to automate, the things you want to turn into a funnel or turn into some set where you can run ads to that, needs to be informed based on real, authentic, organic human relationship. All right, ads, funnels, VSLs, video sales letters, email sequences, a webinar that leads to some sort of a pitch. All of that is really cool and really great, but ultimately it only works because it works with human connection. So it's important before you start throwing a bunch of money at Facebook or Google that you know why your clients and customers, why your prospect, why the market you want to reach wants to connect to you. The easiest way to do that is to be super active in social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, having your own Facebook group, being active in other people's Facebook groups, doing the hard research. I know every online course we've ever taken and you've seen, everybody says, go into Facebook groups, go into LinkedIn, do the homework, use a tool to figure out what people are talking about, what their pain points are, and interact with that because it works, right? That's why. It's hard homework, but it absolutely works. I've tried the other way thinking, I'm pretty sure I know what the market wants. I'm just going to throw a bunch of ads at them. I launched 5 online e-courses before I ever got successful with building an online e-course. And so I have my successful done for you agency that works with surgeons, but I wanted to work with other markets. I wanted to build other businesses. So I built online courses, right? Like probably a lot of you have, and I failed 5 times. I had the money and time to play with that, but I kept banging my head against the wall because I thought I knew what the market actually wanted, but I hadn't done enough homework. I hadn't actually tried to say, here's what the market wants, discover that, get on real Zoom calls, phone calls, face-to-face meetings, whatever with people, and try to sell them a solution, a product, a service, information, whatever. Once you go through that process of discovering what people really want, engaging with them in some social media platform or wherever you can find them, and then getting them on to trying to invite them to a Zoom call, a face-to-face meeting, phone call, whatever, and then discover their needs enough to where you can offer them a solution that they will give you real money for. Once you get that figured out organically, then you can go and run ads, okay? I'm a huge fan of having a pattern of at least 3 before you start really locking in and saying you got something figured out. I wouldn't run ads after 3 online sales organically. I'd want 10, 20, 30 sales so I can see the pattern, so I understand the scripting, the copy, the video, whatever needs to be there. But I do want, what's up, Cian? Good to see you. Good morning. Hey, you. I do want to make sure that I'm anchoring into my market in a way that's really relevant. And the only way to truly prove that is if people are voting, if you're correct, with their credit cards, right? We've heard that before from a lot of other marketers, and it's absolutely true. So before you run ads, and you're going to hate this because it's not fun, before you build a big funnel, before you create your webinar, before you make this amazing logo and website, before you start going to town on all that stuff that can take weeks and months of our lives because it's so fun and creative and fulfilling to do that, you need to go out in the real world, in real social media, in real interactions on real Zoom calls and get people's ideas, what their pain points are, reach out to them as people, and then get them on calls and then try to sell them a real product, service, or information bit. Then you'll know if you have traction enough to actually go spend a lot of time and money on funnels, ads, etc. David, how do you get people on the phone with you without them thinking you're just trying to sell them something, or is positioned as a potential sales call from the get-go? Good question. So, people will jump on a call with you for a couple of reasons. One, if they know what you've got and they want that too, and they see it clearly as a sales opportunity. Even though they know you're going to sell them something, they might really want what you have to sell, right? Or people will get on a call with you just to hang out and build a relationship. Early on, when you're starting out, I would totally just get on calls to build relationships, because you're going to find out so much of what your market needs and what that person needs just by hanging out and having a 30-minute networking get to know you call. See if you know some people in your network that you can connect the person you're talking. Just build community. None of us like to be just cold sold, but all of us like to be presented with something that would truly be helpful to us. But to make that presentation work, we have to actually have a relationship. I want to know, David, if you were selling me, I want to know that you actually know me and took the time to find out what are my real needs before you try to offer me a solution. And if your solution fits, I'll be like, well, that's great, thank you. I might be skeptical and have some questions and some objections that you can answer, but I want to know that you actually know me. So I would jump on calls to build relationships and let those relationships figure out and inform you about what people actually want to buy, and then start making offers based on the pain points that you're discovering in those calls. So discover what's going on in someone's real world, empathize with them, like relate to them, be a real person, let them know you're there. And then if you've got the capacity to offer them a product or service, coaching, a group coaching situation, one-on-one, just even 30 minutes of your time to help them out, do that and see if you can make that pivot. Go through that repetition. It might take you 10, 20, 30 calls to start getting traction, figuring it out to make a sale, but you will eventually make those sales, particularly if you use some kind of a sales script. It's really helpful. Laura, why are you inside? Is it yucky? No, Laura, it's actually 60 degrees and perfect outside, but I've had kind of a crazy morning, so it was just easier to run in here and instead of setting up a camera outside. That's why. Skateboarding this morning, got in here just in time to have a quick staff call with my team, and then I was already right here. So yeah, I should be outside there, right? So when running, let's pivot this thing. So let's say you've got your traffic figured out. Great question, David. Keep it up. So jealous, I know, Laura. So let's say you've got your organic connection figured out. Okay. Again, the pattern looks something like this. Make it your own, but it's pretty replicable. And people in my space, other coaches, consultants, and high-ticket closers and high-ticket salespeople, and people have done for you agencies like I do. That's a high-ticket agency for the surgeons we work with. People in this space that work like I do, they all do this same pattern, right? They either work by referral or they work in social media platforms to build relationships and pull people into relationships that can be meaningful, not weird, but actually connecting. All right. The higher ticket offers, the more valuable the offer, the more transformation the offer is going to bring to the person you're talking to, the more organic and relational that needs to be. It's really hard to sell, for instance, a $10,000 mastermind seat, let's say. Let's say you're building a mastermind, you're going to do it for $10,000 per seat. It's hard to sell a $10,000 seat mastermind from an ad that goes to a webinar that goes to an application page where somebody can put their credit card in. Typically, in the States at least, once you get kind of north of $1,500 to $3,000, depending on your connection to the market, you stop losing traction with ads that go to some sort of an offer digitized where people can swipe. People will buy, as we all have, an online course for $1,500 without ever meeting the host. But typically when it goes through something bigger, like when you get to the $5,000, $10,000 range, the relationship comes into play. A real person, a coach, a consultant, a sales team, somebody needs to be on the phone with that person, helping them make a decision. It's important to build relationships. So optimizing your ads, your funnels, that entire process via relationships is really why funnels start to really work. So, David, I see your question there. So one more point here. If you're funnel hacking, and I'm not taking a shot at any brand here at all. If you're funnel hacking someone else's funnel or sales process, that's cool. Great. Have fun. The mechanics that make that work are still true. But the relationship and the connection to a specific market, that person's voice, their colors, the way they phrase things, the way they present their brand, their logo. Like when I say colors, I like their brand colors. That relates to them as a salesperson and their market that they reach. And there's a connection that happens there. Funnel hacking someone else's sales process might get the mechanics there, but your market that connects to you as a person organically is not the same as theirs, and it's going to be different, and you won't have the same success in the funnel. Funnel hacking is a 1 in a million shot for success. Building the organic bridge that the person you're trying to copy took the time to build is what works. That's what made them successful. So make sure you go back and build that organic bridge. Then you can inform your funnels, your ads, and everything else. And you'll still have lots of trial and error when you shift to ads or shift to a funnel. Hire a professional. Absolutely. I don't do any of that internally in our team. We hire people to do our Google, our Facebook, build funnels, all of that for us, because you don't need to do all that yourself, but you need to inform the person who's building it. Like, here's exactly how my sales process goes. Here's why people buy. Here's what they say. Here's our objections. Here's why we connect. They like this about me. They like that about me. They like the way that I'm super casual and authentic, or they like the fact that I super dressed up and my hair is always perfect. Whatever your brand is, right? They got to know that stuff. Okay. David, so it's just about asking people to hop on calls, knowing that some will say yes and some will say no. I'm sure there's a balance, but how important is the lead up to asking for that call? The lead up is super important, David, because relationships matter. So make sure you build true relationship. If you're messaging them and asking them to jump on a call or something like that, build a relationship. If you're just going into a Facebook group and saying, hey, anybody interested in this, feel free to jump on a call. Not a lot of people will jump on calls, and the ones who do are probably ones wanting to sell you something. But if you build a relationship and get to know people through some interaction, like a private message setting, and then say, hey, let's hang out for 20 minutes, what's your day look like tomorrow? People jump on calls like that, and it's super fun. I talk to people all the time in our Facebook community here, just because I love working with other digital agency owners. I like getting to know them. I like hearing what's going on. I mean, we're kind of, as digital agency owners, at least for me, we kind of, even though I have a team, but my team's all virtual. So I literally work alone all day, right? As alone as possible. I got 5 kids, so I'm closing the studio door. But as far as professional connections, it's really fun to hang out with other people that run agencies like me, that work with whatever genre or niche they work in, or they're coaches or consultants like me, whatever. I love that. And so that's a really fun way to build community, build trust and respect. And also, if someone wants to buy what you've got, David, they will, and you'll have an opportunity to show them what you got. But be cool, be natural, be real. People who are kind of forceful and pushy and selly, I don't know. That's just not my personality. Maybe it fits some people. I just don't like it, so I don't want to be that way. And David, knowing you from just hanging out in this group, I know you're that way too. You don't want to be pushy and selly, but real relationships attract real people and real connection, and that's what it's about. Good question. So yes, it's just as simple as asking people to jump on calls, but it's about prepping that call with real relationship, so they know that you're a real person. And there's a reason to jump on a call with you, to truly get to know you, because you're a cool person, right? So that's where I'd go with that. Okay, so let's see if there's any other questions. If not, I think we're good. So bottom line is, inform your ad spend, your automation with organic. That is what matters. Don't do like me and think you can go out there and blast a bunch of ads, even if you have a little extra cash, and figure out the process. Well, if I just throw $10,000 over the course of the next 90 days, let's say, at ads once, $1,000 a weekend or something like that. I know it's $12,000, but if you just did that process, would it get you the organic information you need and save you a lot of time? Maybe. But honestly, statistically, probably not. All right. You're going to go through some iterations, but you're not going to find what really works. There's nothing like a human to human connection recording those Zoom calls, and as boring as it sounds, go back and listen to them again and re-listen to why did that person actually get on a call? What did they say their real needs were? What did I say next? What helped them pivot forward? What helped them make a decision? That stuff is super important, and that stuff's real, okay? So I would absolutely move on that, be organic, get out there and do the work. Great answer. Thanks. You bet, David. Man, super glad you're here. Always great to see you. You guys are awesome in this community. Y'all are the coolest people ever. And you know, right now, I mentioned this yesterday in our live, but I just want to say it again because it's so true. Right now, end of the year, end of 2020, end of a crazy, hopefully end of a crazy political cycle here in the States, pandemic, all of the stuff that we've just globally felt this year, people are really ready for moving on. They need help getting a plan. They need help getting unstuck out of the funk that's in our heads and knowing what they're going to do in 2020 to reach their customers, to rebuild, to restart, to grow. And it's so important to make sure that you're the one out there leading them. If you've got the funk going on in your head, take a moment to step aside and remember that you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you have the steps, you actually know how to help people. It's like we're all at the beach and half the world's population is out there floundering in the waves. And there's a few people on the beach who actually are really good swimmers and have the little buoys and the lifeguard things and they're all ready to go. And you've got the ability to go out there and pull those people in and help them see, hey, we can do this again. We can get you back on shore, get you back on your feet and move your brand, your market, your clientele, all of that forward because you've got the knowledge to do that. So put on your lifeguard suit, grab your buoy, go out there and talk to people in your market. They need you now more than ever. We are growing right now more than ever, and I promise you it is because of that one thing. It's because people need us now, and they need you now more than ever. And it is not because we've changed something dramatically. Any agency owner I know who's having wild success, any coach I know having wild success, done for you service, masterminds, one-on-one coaching, consulting, whatever. All of them that I know that are having massive success have not made significant changes. They might have tweaked their offer a little bit here or there to be sensitive to the market, but it's not substantial. They're still doing the same core stuff. They're having success because they've stayed engaged and they're actually listening to people and they're out there on the beach with their buoy and their life jacket suit and they're going in and out of the water and they're constantly having conversations and they're listening, they're being authentic, and they're really helping people move forward. Yes, get paid. Yes, ask for money. Yes, all that stuff applies. Go get it. They need your help. A lot of them just simply are so busy floundering in the water, they just simply don't know who to lean in on. So you jumping in the water and going out there with them is a huge way to get started and get that moving. Laura, know you, Laura. So Laura, I was a lifeguard. No way. For a decade. How cool is that? That's really fun. Good for you, Laura. I like this analogy. Yes, I love the water. I know you're a great swimmer too, Laura, competitive swimmer. Okay. That's it for me today, folks. Y'all have a fantastic Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. Yeah, next week's Thanksgiving here in the States. So what? Get out there and meet people, prospect, offer them calendar links, do the stuff, get out there and build relationships. So it's Thanksgiving week. Take a couple days off, but don't stop moving forward. I promise you, they're floundering. They need you. You've got the support they need. Go out there, save some lives, save some market, help them and their clients move forward. Have been reading, have you been reading my homepage? I have not, Laura, but you've told me before you're a swimmer. I'm so glad you're here, Laura. Laura's just an amazing person. It's really a privilege to know you, Laura. Glad you're here. All right. Talk soon, guys. You have a fantastic Tuesday. I'm out. Bye, guys.